Hello, I'm Abdul-Malik, and I'm here interviewing Taylor Johnson, assistant coach at NC State, and I have 20 questions for him.
Let's do it.
Alright, what is your current position?
Current position is graduate assistant coach at North Carolina State University for men's basketball.
What experience did you have before this position?
For this position, I was assistant athletic director at Lower Norwich High School. And before that, I was the head manager at Western Michigan University for men's basketball. And before that, I was at Southeastern University for men's basketball. So I've been at 3 different schools now, so I have a little bit of experience.
How long did it take you to reach your current position?
It took a total of probably 5 to 6 years, I would say, and it's been well worth it.
What were some of the steps you took to reach this current position?
I think the biggest thing was getting out, networking, meeting people, learning about my field, studying, going to open practices, going to coaching clinics, going to conferences, and just getting to know as many people as possible so I can put myself in a good situation.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, I hope to still be coaching college basketball. Hope to be at the highest level possible. Hopefully in 10 years, I'll have my own program, but I think in 5 years, it's just more of a stepping stone, getting more experience, meeting more people.
So that goes into the next question. What is your ultimate goal?
I think my ultimate goal would be owning my own program, collegiate program, and I don't really care what level. I just want to be able to run my own program kind of the way I want to, and use different things from different people, use positives and negatives that I've learned, and to impact other people's lives.
So, what sacrifices did you feel that you had to make?
Made a lot of sacrifices. I think the biggest one was the fact that I wasn't a regular college student. I had to work my way through college. And I think that was the hardest part. When my friends got to go off and do kind of fun things, and they got to go out and experience college a little bit, I was never able to do that. I worked 40 hours a week in my undergrad. My first position was a volunteer position, so I didn't make any money. Mm-hmm. So that was very difficult too. That was a big sacrifice. And I think also I've been away from my family now for the past 8 years, and because I've been pursuing this dream of mine, I've had to make a sacrifice of not seeing them very often at all.
Okay. Back to your ultimate goal. How do you see yourself getting there step by step? What's the next step for you?
I think the next step for me is just like anybody's, just kind of getting my first real full-time position where I can kind of be not have to worry about graduate school or volunteering, and really make some substantial money and move and get on my own and keep advancing this profession.
So you're speaking of your family before. How has your family played a big factor towards your job and decision making?
I think they've been really supportive of me. I think it's one thing that's hard to do, especially in this profession when you travel so much and you have so many sacrifices, and it's not always a fun job. I think you don't get to see them on holidays, and that's very tough for them. But I think they've been very supportive along the way. They understand the dreams that I have, and they're going to continue to support me the whole way through.
Okay. Great. Is this the job you always dreamed of?
This current job, yeah, it's pretty special. It's pretty surreal. It's been a lot of fun. I didn't think I'd be at the ACC level this quick. I've been in Division I basketball now for 8 years, and I don't take it for granted at all. I really enjoy it.
So the next question was, if not, what would you be doing if you weren't doing this right now?
I'd probably be at the high school level. I really enjoyed my position as assistant athletic director in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I really enjoyed that level, working with kids. Anything where I can impact youth lives, I think that's kind of what I want to be doing.
So would you consider yourself a success?
Yeah, I really don't define success as myself. It's more of the fact that have I impacted other people to have success in their lives, and that's kind of where I judge my success on other people's.
So why did you pick the profession you have now?
I think it follows along that lines. I love basketball. I love sports in general. I love college athletics. I think it's the greatest time in the world, and I think it's a great opportunity for really to help young men become real men, and you can really impact their lives, whether on the court or off the court. And it's cool to see where they are in 10 years, and when you still stay in touch with them, it's really important.
So if you hadn't have gotten this far, what would have been the plan B?
I don't really think about plan B very often. I'm a plan A kind of guy. I put a lot of pressure on myself to get plan A, but even if there's ever a time where you got to take a step back, you just got to keep pushing and pushing until you reach your ultimate goal.
Okay. What are steps you're gonna take to make this process of, going from this job to maybe a higher job, more something long term? Like, what's the next step in progress right now?
The next step for sure is just continue to network, get my master's degree, and then get the next opportunity. I think you have to make sure your resume is ready to go, all your reference materials, and I think you just have to keep expanding your networking and keep making connections and meeting a lot of people, and then hopefully a door will open up.
So, when you take collegiate jobs like this one, in your mind, you're not setting up for long term because you're consistently trying to advance. So how does that affect where you go and your decision making and the relationships you build with people?
It definitely affects it to a certain extent where you can't get too comfortable.
Yeah.
That's one thing that's a little hard in this profession, is because as you can advance, you have to be ready to move. You have to be able to just pick up and go. And sometimes you just can't. You just don't want to get too settled, and you also don't want to settle in a job. And just because you're at a certain level where you like it and feel comfortable, you gotta take some risks in this profession, especially to get where I want to be.
So what's the most rewarding part of your job?
Most people would say it's winning, but winning is great. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome. But to see other people just have really success, people like you and other student athletes that I get to be around and see where they come in, and we get to see them have success academically and make changes in their lives and become better young men and have proper manners and going out and being respectful to the community. That's the best part.
So what's the hardest part of your profession?
The hardest part, I kind of go back to that sacrifices thing. I'm a family guy, and I miss my friends and everyone back home, and I think that is the hardest part, being away from everybody, and like I said, not having holidays or time off ever. It's a 24/7 job. You're on the clock all the time, and you might be out having fun doing something that you want to do, and you get a phone call and you got to go to work, and that's just how it is.
So if I was interested in, taking the same career path that you are, what are some suggestions you have for me?
I would say for you, well, first of all, you should play as long as you can. So let's get that straight. But I think just never burning any bridges. You never know who you're going to need to help you. Whether it's the current coach you have, or it's assistant coach, whether it's your academic person, whether it's a teacher, professor like you never really know when you're going to be in a situation where I need that one person to write me a letter of recommendation, or I need them to make a phone call for me. Just never burn a bridge. Always have strong relationships with everybody, because even people who aren't successful right now, 10 years later, you might be like, man, wow, I didn't see that one coming.
Hey.
I really messed that one up.
All right, and the last question for the interview is, who is your biggest inspiration?
Biggest inspiration.
You name a couple people.
Yeah, there's a few people that have a big impact on me. Bill Hodges was Larry Bird's collegiate coach at Indiana State. He's kind of mentored to me. Aaron Smith with the Detroit Pistons has been a mentor to me. Coach Godfrey's been great with me, and Coach Jim Herrick, old coach at UCLA. Try to talk to him once a week. He's been really supportive of everything I'm trying to do, and these are just people that I'm trying to learn from and trying to get advice from, and hopefully become a better person and a better coach.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.